On today's show, we're going to be laying out a simple step-by-step process to help renters in the Lakeway area go from renting to a homeowner in the fall of 2025. This one's going to be a good one for you guys to watch. Lots of information to unpack. Make sure you stay for the whole thing because we've got something just for you. Hang on, y'all. Here we go. Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast, where you receive the most up-to-date, relevant real estate information you're going to get anywhere on the planet. You're going to get it right here from your friends at Elite Realty Group. I am Mike Elkins with Elite Realty Group. Glad to be with you today. Again, whether you're watching on one of our viewer platforms or you're listening on one of our podcast platforms, I'm glad you took time out of your busy schedule to tune in today. Got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about that process and actually giving you a step-by-step process of how you can go from renter to homeowner in the fall of 2025. A lot of times I think people think it's a long process of actually being able to go from renter to homeowner. And while I cannot sit here today and tell you it will be any specific time frame, I can give you the steps to take. And if you'll follow these steps, the chances of you being a renter now, but a homeowner before the new year reigns in is going to be a real thing that could happen for you. Again, there are a lot of myths. There are a lot of thoughts. There are a lot of what I'm going to say misinformation that is just out there, that the process and what all is involved in it, it's just maybe too hard to overcome. But we're going to debunk those myths today. We're going to take you on these steps. We're going to give you the plan. But we're also going to give you just some general information that's going to be very beneficial to you. So if you're out there watching and you do want to go from renter to homeowner, this is the episode for you. Maybe that doesn't speak directly to you, but maybe you know someone that's currently renting a home. They're wanting to take that journey from renter to homeowner. This is a good podcast episode for them to be a part of. You know, in our area, in Morristown, the Lakeway area, which takes in several places, there are a lot of people out there that are renting right now. There's I would be afraid to put a number on it at this point in time, but there are a lot of people. You hear a lot of noise. You've heard a lot of things about interest rates in the real estate market and payments and home prices and everything going up. Well, if you're renting, you know that home prices and interest rates and payments and all that, that's not the only thing that's went up. Rent has went up in our area, not only here, but across these here United States, rent has went up. And so that's getting a lot more people thinking that, maybe I don't want to do this forever. Maybe I don't want to be in the rent. Now, there's always a time. I always like to try to say this. When I'm talking about the renter going from renter to homeowner, there are times when renting is right. Okay. There are times when renting is right for people. And renting, owning, living with a relative, staying with a friend, I'm not the person to be telling you what to do on that. That is a personal decision that you need to make with whoever the decision makers are on where should we be living and how should we be doing it. I'm just telling you today and talking to those people who they've looked at their individual situation and they're like, we want to stop renting and we want to go to a homeowner. So let's talk about some things, okay? Let's kind of set the table for a few things and talk about potentially some of these myths that you hear. And maybe you're out there and you think, I thought that's how it worked, Mike. Let's debunk some of those myths. There are reasons why renters stay renters. And some of them are because of myths that they've heard. One of the common myths that are out there that have been there for a while, but this has not been true for a while, this has been a myth for a long time, is I have to have a 20% down payment to buy a house. Now let's put a number on that that's different than 20%, okay? In the Lakeway area, where we are right now, the average home is in the 300s, okay? It's a 330, but let's just play the game. It's 300,000 because that'll make our math easier. If you had to have a 20% down payment to buy a $300,000 house, that's $60,000. If you're out there today and you're thinking, I got to have $60,000, that's why I'm a renter. I've got to have $60,000 to buy a house. I fully understand that's a whole lot of money. But I want to tell you today that that is a myth. There are several loan programs that are out there that will allow you to buy a home with 3.5% down. There are programs that allow you to buy homes with no money down. I'm not here today to tell you which one of those loans you qualify for. We're going to get to that in a moment. I just want to tell you that the ability to be able to get those loans, people do it every day. There are those low to no down payment programs that are available out there. And may I add to this just for a moment, they're not just for first-time home buyers, or they're not just for renters that's wanting to go from renter to homeowner. They're for a large demographic segment of people. So the 20% down payment myth, can you put 20% down? Absolutely, 100% you can. Can you put 50% down? Absolutely, 100% you can. But one of the reasons why renters stay stuck is they believe that myth. They think I have to have this 20% down payment. And on average in our area, that is $60,000. And it doesn't matter what area you're in, that's a lot of money. And a lot of people do not have that money. So why do renters stay renters? A lot of them believe that myth, but we have debunked that myth today. You do not have to have that. You have to qualify for one of the loans that I talked about earlier, but people do it every day. Here's another reason, okay? Let's debunk some myths here today. Another reason people stay in the renting process, the renting realm, if you would have it, is they think my credit has to be 100% perfect, spotless, no dings, no nothing on it. While I'm not here to read your credit today, I can tell you several things about this. Perfect credit, okay? Perfect is very, very rare, okay? Perfect credit is a very rare thing, okay? There are people who buy homes all the time who do not have perfect credit, okay? They've had issues in the past. They've had things go on. They've had a foreclosure. They've had a bankruptcy. They've had late payments on bills, but they purchase homes. It is a myth that you have to have perfect credit, okay? You got to have good credit, but you don't have to have perfect credit, okay? Now, here's what I want to go on and talk about a little bit more about this credit, okay? And so many people don't know this, and it keeps renters because it's just a myth that I got to have perfect credit. But do you know there are several mortgage people, lenders, banks in the Lakeway area, right here where we are, okay, that they offer assistance in getting your credit good enough for you to be able to purchase a house. Now, again, I'm not a credit expert. Those people they're great at what they do. You say, well, how do they do that? It's not a magic potion. It's not a fairy dust that are going to sprinkle over you and make it work. They're just going to advise you on what things you can do to get your credit score from where it is to where it needs to be to purchase a house. That may be opening up a credit card, that may be paying a bill off, but there are a lot of different things that you can do to change your credit score and change your credit score fast. It is a myth today that you have to have perfect credit to purchase a home. You have to have qualifying credit. But if you're sitting there today and you're wondering, I don't know if mine qualifies or not, all that it costs you is a conversation with one of these people, who we have several. We're going to give you a list of several of these people and allow you to choose, interview, hire for yourself who that person may be to help you get your credit to the place that it needs to be to purchase a house. That is something that we can provide for you. So those are two of the biggest myths. Is people think I got to have 20% down. They think I've got to have perfect credit. Those are myths today, okay? Now, getting credit, buying a home, whatever the payment is, the interest rate, those are all based upon your individual financial circumstances. You need to have these conversations for yourself and let those people look at your specific situation. But allow me to remind you today, those are just conversations. They cost you absolutely $0 for you to have those. So that's a good thing if you're out there wanting to go from a renter to a homeowner, have those conversations, okay? Let's talk about another thing, okay, that keeps renters, what I'm going to say, stuck, or renters. They look at it and they say, I'm just uncertain about the process. I just don't know what to do. That keeps renters. Now, what I want to tell you today is I've already kind of let you in on there are mortgage people, banks, financial institutions that are going to help you on that credit side. There are people like the agents at Elite Realty Group that are going to help you with everything else, okay? I will not sit here and deny today that there's not a lot of things to do to buy a home. There are a lot of things to do. There are a lot of hoops to jump through. There are a lot of inspections and appraisals and termites and all of these things that, yes, they probably are going to have to be done. And if you had to go down that road by yourself, you ain't going to have a clue what to do. I understand that. But there are people like the agents at Elite Realty Group that help renters go from renting to homeowning all the time by literally walking them through and informing them of the process. I always try to say this in everything that we do when I start talking about realtors. There are realtors all over the country. I know here in the Lakeway area, but all over the country that would love to take someone that is currently renting and feels like they're stuck renting. And just because you don't know the process, you've not dove into what is it all does it take to buy a home, because you don't want people to think I don't know what to do. Let me let you in on a secret today. There are a lot of people who don't know what to do, okay? And they've jumped in because they've got the assistance of a realtor. And that realtor has helped them through the process. And realtors get a bad rap, okay? I'll probably get some hit back from this. Realtors get a bad rap. I'm not telling you today that all realtors are created equal, but I'm telling you there are realtors in the Lakeway area, here at Elite Realty Group, across the United States of America, that will do you right and help you go from renter to homeowner. What you need to do as a potential home buyer is talk with a realtor, and you talk with as many realtors as you need to talk to until you feel as though you find the one who meshes and works with you. That just costs you, again, a conversation. So the three biggest reasons renters stay renters is they think I need this big down payment. They think my credit's got to be perfect, and they just don't know what to do. I'm here today to tell you all of that assistance you need to answer those questions is available to you. You just have to get connected with the right people. So you don't have to stay stuck today. If you have those ambitions, you want to become a homeowner, the help is available. If you're in the Lakeway area, reach out to someone here at Elite Realty Group. We will help you with what you need to do. We will put you in contact with or give you the list of people you need to get in contact with to make homeownership and the dream of it a reality for you, okay? Now, with that being said, let's talk about this path for a minute, okay? I'm going to give you some good tips today. And maybe, again, you're that person sitting out there and you're like, I just don't know what to do, okay? I'm going to give you some steps, some things that you need to do. Now, you're going to make all of this simple. It's all going to be made simple and a lot of it done for you if you connect with a realtor. So hint, hint, call an agent at Elite Realty Group. Will walk you through this process. But if you want to do it on your own, you 100% can, okay? A lot of people are not going to tell you that, but you 100% can do this by yourself, but you don't have to, okay? So let's talk about these steps, the path of home ownership. The first thing that I would tell you to do, okay, is you need to check your credit, okay? Now, there's Credit Karma, there's freecreditreport.com. There's all kinds of places you can check your credit. A mortgage person that I talked with you about earlier, they can check your credit, Okay, there's a lot of ways to do it, but that's the first thing you need to do is just check your credit. See where you fit in. Okay, where is your credit score at? Now, if you have that low credit score, okay, or maybe a non-qualifying score, let's call it that today. You have a non-qualifying credit score, not only check your credit, but improve it, okay? Because it is a fact that the better your credit score is, the better type of loan programs you're going to be able to qualify for. So you want as good as credit as you can get. You want that. We've been able to help many people who've been literally right there at the threshold of having the qualifying score. They've been able to get a loan, but they wanted to work on their credit and make it better so they could get an even better loan. They could get a better program. They could get a better interest rate. They had all of those things before them, and it's okay for you to do that. You don't have to buy just because you can buy. You can always improve upon your circumstances and your situations. You can look into all of those things, and that's what you want to do. You want to have the highest credit score that you're able to have. You definitely want to do that. So step one is checking on your credit and improving it if possible, okay? And again, working with a good mortgage person is going to be able to let you do that, okay? They're going to be able to let you do that. Now, step two is you do need to make sure you have some available funds. And if you don't have those, you're going to need to save up for, okay, what I'm going to call and label as today upfront cost. Now, while there is low to no down payment programs, there are additional costs that are not considered a part of the down payment. For example, we always try to tell our people you want to get a home inspection when you're buying a house. That's a cost that you have to pay for. Okay, that's a buyer cost. You also have an appraisal. You're going to, if you're getting a mortgage, you're going to have an appraisal. If you're going to get pest inspections, termites, if you would have to have a structural engineer report. These are all costs that you're going to need to have some funds put back for. And I'm going to just give you a high number here today, $2,000 to $3,000, and that's high. Don't flip out on me. $2,000 to $3,000 for you to get all of those things done. You need to make sure you save for those because that is something that is a cost to you. Now, can you potentially get some of those costs covered? Absolutely, you can. But you as a home buyer need to be prepared for that. Okay. You need to make sure you've got that. You're able to pay those fees because when you go under contract for a home, those things start coming quickly at you. And it's not something that we can say, well, I need to wait 30 days to get these. You need to go ahead and have those done up front. Okay. So step two is make sure you have available to you or you save for those upfront costs. Okay. We're talking to you today about how to go from renter to homeowner. We've debunked some myths. We've told you some things you may be feeling. But right now we're looking at the steps, the processes, the things you need to look at as you go through this process. Here's step number 3, okay? Not only you need to review your credit, not only do you need to improve your credit score, you need to have some available funds to pay for those fees. But this is a big one, okay? This is the first big one, okay? And if you do this, the other two that I already gave you, you're going to get help with them, okay? Number 3 is you need to go ahead and go through the process of getting pre-approved with a lender, okay? Pre-approved involves more than just looking at your credit score. It's a lender actually doing a credit pull and looking deeper into your finances, okay? Because there is this thing when you buy a home that's called a debt to income ratio. And that ratio is different depending on the loan program that you get. But just because you make $5,000 a month doesn't mean you can spend $5,000 a month on a mortgage, okay? You have to have a certain income ratio that allows these people to be able to look at your property or your home that you're buying and your income and your debt and say they've got the right debt to income ratio. Getting pre-qualified lets that lender go ahead and take those things into consideration, and they dive deeper rather than just looking at your credit score and saying, oh, yeah, you qualify. Because you could have the right credit score, but have the wrong debt to income and still not qualify for a mortgage. So you need to get pre-approved with a trusted Morristown, Lakeway, your neck of the woods lender that they can take that deep dive and look at all of that. Now, another thing this does for you, which is, I think, pretty major as a home buyer, when they take that deep dive into your credit and they look at that, and they look at the debt to income, they're also going to go ahead and look at which of those programs you qualify for, which will allow them to give you a tentative interest rate, which will allow them to give you a monthly payment range that if you buy a home that costs this much, this is going to be the monthly payment range that you're going to be in. Now, what you can do as a buyer, here's the benefit to you. You as a buyer can then look at that and say, okay, that fits into my budget. Or that's too much. I don't want to spend that. We tell people all the time, just because you can buy a certain amount does not mean you have to, okay? You can elect to go lower than what you're qualified for. And if you feel you're putting yourself in a situation that feels uncomfortable with you because they tell you you can afford up to a certain amount of a monthly mortgage payment, that does not mean you have to do that. Review your finances and do what feels right for you, okay? That's number 3, getting pre-approved. Number 4 is, this is where we come in, okay? This is where a good realtor comes in. This is where Elite Realty Group comes in, okay? You need to select and work with, and this is the same as when you're talking about a mortgage person. You need to select and work with a good local real estate agent, okay? You need to select one that fits you, that you feel works for you, that will do and understand and listen to your thoughts, your needs, your wants, not somebody pushing you to do something that you don't want to do. Interview until you find one that fits what you want to do, and then work with that person, okay? A realtor can do a lot of things for you, okay? A lot of things, and I can't cover them all. But I'm going to tell you one of the big things that we do for people, and I'm going to speak specific to us here at Elite Realty Group right now. We have this service that all of our buyers get. Again, this is for renters, this is for any buyer. But we have this service that our buyers receive when they work for us. And it is literally a service that so many people, they love it. It's a home buyer resource center, okay? Not only does this resource center explain everything that goes into home buying with you, but it also allows us to take what you're looking for in your next home, the location, the beds, the baths, the amenities, the wants, the needs, all of those things, and plug it into our system. And it's going to literally give us an immediate return on everything that is currently on the market right now and meets the needs that you, as the home buyer, want in your next house. So we're going to know this is available to us right now. But better than what's available right now is what's coming. Because the next house you buy may not be on the market right now, but it could go on the market tomorrow, this evening, 2 weeks from now. That Homebuyer Resource Center and service that we enroll you in, it also watches as new homes hit the market. And when those homes that match your criteria come onto the market, guess who gets notified of that? You. You don't have to wait for it to go out in a book. You don't have to wait to see a social media post. You're going to get, as soon as it hits the market, the notification. So if that home hits the market in your location, has everything that you're wanting it to have, it actually will allow you to get there sooner rather than later. And sometimes in real estate, folks, being first is best, okay? Because you beat out other buyers to those hot new listings that meet and match the criteria that you need for it to meet and you need for it to match your criteria. So those are the steps to getting it started. Now there's more steps as we go on, but if you do these, you're going to have someone in your corner that's going to be helping you with the rest of those steps, okay? Now let's end with some resources for you, okay? Let's end with some resources for you, okay? There are options, and there's several of these options that will help you with credit repair, help you with down payment assistance, help you with different things when it comes to buying a house, resources that are in this area that are available to you. And a lot of those are available at no charge to you. Those are local resources that are available. A good realtor, a good mortgage person is going to help you get in touch with those people. There are good realtors, okay? Good local resource realtors that are available here to you. The last thing that I want to tell you about is a really good resource for you is not only do we have these steps, but we have developed at Elite Realty Group literally an entire program that is a renter to homeowner program that 100% takes you by the hand. And all of this stuff that we have talked to you about today, these steps, we take you by the hand and walk you through every bit of that, thus making this experience a more enjoyable experience for you. So if I could give you one piece of advice today, if you're out there watching or listening to this podcast and you're wanting to do that, go from renter to homeowner. And I'm going to add to this, no matter where you are in the country, we have connections with other realtors in all parts of the United States. This renter to homeowner program is for you. All that it costs you up front is a conversation. We have those conversations. We review the program. We can put you in contact with the people who can help you with the credit, the repairs, the local resources, the down payment assistance, finding the home, all of what we've talked about today. That renter to homeowner program covers it. And we have had the so much opportunity. We have had I'm thankful for this program that we've been able to help so many people go through this process of this home in 2025 so far of going from renter to homeowner. So if you're out there and you're renting, you're in Morristown right now or anywhere, you don't have to stay stuck, okay? With the right plan, with the right assistance, with the right person in your corner, you can make the move to owning your home. And guess what? You can be there before the calendar turns over to the new and upcoming year. I invite you to connect with Elite Realty Group and we can sit down and get your personalized roadmap for you to go from renter to homeowner in the remainder of 2025. That does it for me and the information that I have for you today. I really appreciate you watching and listening to the podcast today. Don't forget, like and subscribe, whatever channel you're watching on. We've been having such wonderful numbers of listeners and viewers to all of our programs, and we thank you for that. If we can help you with any real estate needs here in the Lakeway area, make sure you connect with one of the agents at Elite Realty Group. Until next time, you guys have a great rest of your day. Be safe, be blessed. Watch for some of our short episodes that come out daily, but the next podcast will be released next Wednesday. You guys have a great rest of your day. We thank you for watching today. Be blessed, you all.